Welcome to yet another session of some amazing talks by architects and artists in the second series of our weekly webinar series. And I am architect Chetan Shivaprasad from Come Design, and I also am the founder of Hampi Center for Design. We are very happy to have with us artist Mahesh Patta, who is the founder of Art Realm Studio, and did his diploma in Chetna's College of Fine Arts right from 2002 onwards, and went on to do his Bachelor of Architecture from Kannada University, Hampi, in their Department of Sculpture and Painting, Banshankari, Badami. And he also did his postgraduate diploma from his College of Fine Arts, Chitrakala Parishad, Bangalore, and later worked with his diploma in movement arts and mixed media. Amazing. Atakalari Center for Movement Arts. And Mahesh also finished his master's from visual arts painting from Jain University, Bangalore in 2013. And art for Mahesh has always been something which kind of triggers his curious mind, and has been some kind of a participatory exploration of exploring what happens during every process. Some quotes of his which I would mention is, every work I start and finish is like crossing another bridge. In my works, the first glance shows abstractness. By going further, all that you will find is simple, pure energy, revealing the colors of my expression. When I start up painting, I usually try keeping my space of mind blank. I believe that predetermination will confine one creativity. So as I'm really looking forward to the way Mahesh explores uh, his mind through a blind canvas, and then fills it up with theater, with art, with colors, with movement, and many such more. Looking forward to hearing more about your journey, Mahesh. And over to you for your presentation.
Okay, thank you. So, starting with my L, that is L. Usually we see it on vehicles or bikes, something like that. But I'm starting using this L board in my the thing, because L is for learning, L is for loving, L is for uh, life. So, and also my daughter's name starts with L. It is Lasya. So here you go. It's my journey of time. Mic testing one, complaints and whinings. So all I did was like started with complaints that this is not proper, this is not right, this is not how it should be, because of my helplessness, and also with the situation was where I was. So I was not that good with studies in school. So I'm just beginning with my how I got into art. That is, in school I was not that great student. I was a very average student, where not an average, below average. So, but one thing kept me going was my art. I was good at art, and I was doing a lot of stuff with art. I used to win competitions in school, and people, teachers, and friends used to appreciate very well every time whenever I used to win competitions. So, this one thing which changed the whole course or the decision is, in school when I was in 10th, I won a gold medal in international art competition, and that was it. And everybody said like you should be an artist, and I didn't had any other option, because all my friends who were studying well like got into big colleges, and they had a career option and a clarity with their future. But I was clueless, and maybe this was the triggering, igniting factor, the gold medal. And here it started. After this, I went out and joined an art school, and a local art school in Bangalore, where I had a notion that okay, college will be something really fascinating, and I'll have a lot of fun. All the imagination, whatever we have before joining into college. So that was not that. It was far away from my imagination. The reality was totally different in college. Um, so I somehow uh, completed it, my 5 years of diploma, in terms of art. But in terms of my learning, uh, I joined NCC, and I was 5 months in a year, like I was out of city, out of home, and out of college. So I used to travel a lot. I used to be among people who were like really uh, meant to me, like my friends or all of those things. I had a tremendous energy, I can say, but education-wise, like I didn't find what I wanted. I thought learning painting is the coolest thing, but when it came to learning, it was always whining. I mean, I was not okay with the system, the way it is taught, or the way I wanted to learn. Maybe I felt like this is not the place for me. That's why, like, I studied in 5 different colleges and 3 different universities. So um, that was my whining. Like I used to not happy with what college needs to be, like something like that. So, but the learning always happened outside the college. That is, whether it is traveling and the commission work in terms of skills, it was always the commercial works or commission work where I learned more than what I did in college. So these are my very early works where I had a great amount of energy and I didn't know what to paint. I knew I learned how to paint, but I didn't know what to paint. So to express my energy, agony, all of those things, it was just abstraction, and it was making me temporarily happy, but I was not satisfied with the way it is going on. While I was painting, it used to seem like really good, but later on, it used to be very lame, or it used to be very flat, as though it has no emotions. So this was in my fifth year of degree, the final year degree work. After that, I joined. These are my very early works where I joined in Chitrakala Parishad, and there is a system where how to create your art and how to give a narration to your art. So they said like you should have a body of work where you should work on a subject and uh, then make more paintings and continue with that. So I choose myself as a subject, and I started making self portraits and all the happenings around me, and I used to make paintings like this. These are acrylic on canvas, and maybe 3 feet by 3 feet. So it continued the struggle of making a living, not living. I was in a survival mode rather, where paying the fees and um, practicing art. And to be honest, visual arts is a very expensive affair where it's not so easy like to buy your art supplies and make your admissions in prestigious colleges like Chitrakala Parishad and all. So I struggled throughout my education period where it was I used to work to pay my fees, and I was not able to pay, give more time for my art practice or learn more. So all those difficulties or struggle, rather challenges, I say, I used to show it through my works. These are very early works. So uh, till here, like it was more, it became like an obsession, showing myself and my struggle and my telling my stories. So it became like an obsession where I used to just paint myself, and I was done with it. So I thought I should include others in my paintings. So I used to this paintings. I did a couple of works with this series where I used to allow others to sign on my paintings, and I used to work on it. I mean, I used to improvise on their signs using their signature as the motif in my work. I started making more paintings like this, where I just wanted to get out of that obsession of myself, or making myself as a subject. Again, if you all notice, I have majorly used red, black, and white. So maybe it was because of the rebellious um, emotions in me. Like always, I used to use red. This was one instant where this was my annual show, PG post graduation diploma annual show, where I had made huge paintings like this, maybe 4 feet by 4 feet, and I didn't had place to put up my works, hang my wall. I mean, hang my paintings on the wall. So I made a cube out of my paintings and placed it right in front of, in the middle of the gallery, and it was kind of a protest. Also, I was against the system where the equal opportunities or something like that. So if I look back and see, like it's totally a nonsense, but back then it made a lot of sense. So again, it was more of experiments and expression. These are all 3 feet by 4 feet acrylic on canvas. Um, there's again acrylic on canvas. This painting was selected for national exhibition, which happens in Delhi. It's called IFEX. So there was a lot of hesitation in me using colors. So I was like just using minimal 1 or 2 colors, and trying to work more with the emotions there. This was again the same works, but I had an exhibition in Hyderabad. Uh, so after that, there was a change in my uh, thought process. So maybe I mellowed down a bit and started making a little uh, composed in a composed way rather than just making abstraction. So started working on more on compositions and very sober colors. But again, red will come. So I used to use this motif of all these traditional drawings. That is, my father is a carpenter and a designer. He works with wood, and all my childhood, like I was just seeing all this, the floral designs on the wooden panels on the uh, everywhere in my home. So maybe that was the influence for me to use those things in my paintings, and also it has certain pattern, like the way we breathe, it has a pattern. So I thought, why not breathe? I can relate that to breathing, and use it in my paintings. And also this was the time where I started getting inspired by a lot of artists. So there is an artist called G.R. Irana, who is internationally acclaimed artist, who used to work with this seeping technique. He used to allow the paints to seep on it on the canvas and paint. So that was one inspiration where I adopted and I started painting. This again with the same series where I made this the symbol, the inverted infinity. So where I used it for to show the energy, or maybe enigma or something like that. Where first episode, this is mic testing 1 2, findings and losings, where uh, I started um, something new here. So as previously I said, it had become monotonous the way I started painting the same things and the triangles and trying to figure out what to do, how to do, and how to make a meaning out of what I'm doing. So I was looking for a lot of new things, new learnings. So uh, uh, I'm I'm thankful to myself that I made this decision to dance. I'm a non-dancer, and I wanted inspiration. So I went for an audition. It's a very what do you say? One of the um, finest institution for dance, Attakalari Center for Movement Arts. They're getting through the audition itself is a difficult task. So I went, and when they asked me to move, I said like I can't move, and I don't know, I'm a non-dancer. And they asked me like, why are you here? I said I'm here to find some inspiration for my paintings. It was really difficult for me to move because I was a very stiff person, dancing Bharatanatyam, Kalaripayattu, and ballet, contemporary. It was not, my body was not listening at all. But it took a time. It took some time for me to understand the whole thing, and I picked up and I passed out with merit certificate. So after that, so my work started changing, and there was some kind of a clarity with my work. So this work is done in 2011 or something, where after passing out from Attakalari, I had a lot of inspiration, but I wanted to see what should I take up now. Like, should I continue dancing or should I continue painting or what should I do? I had no clue. So what I did was like I moved to Mumbai and with my friends, artist friends there, where they were already quite doing well, where they had some galleries association and they were selling their works. I went there and stayed there for 1.5 years or something, where seeing them and working with them, my work started changing. This work is called Screwed Up Screw, where the interpretation was very simple. If there is a nail, even if it is bent, you can straighten it and use it. But if the screw is screwed up, you can't use it. It's of waste, something like that. So the movement started coming up in my work. That is, this is a very difficult posture to create. So when I went to Mumbai, the kind of rush Mumbai has, it's a commerce city and it never sleeps. In that, where I used to see only construction happening in the name of development. Um, so I was kind of in this position. Maybe I tried to depict myself in this position where I titled this as lengthen and hold. To hold something like this in that position, it's a really difficult thing. So I started using all the motive, whatever construction, like the cranes or the earth movers, and the breathing started here again. If you can see the floral designs here again. It's of the same. These are all my Bombay works where um, we used to live in a flat, and the kind of I grew up in Bangalore, and seeing all the greenery around, but Mumbai doesn't have that much. But we had to live in a flat and live our life. Uh, so what happened with this is banyan tree is considered to be one of the biggest trees, uh, but we tried to we had a banyan tree put in a pot. So if you all can see, the roots of the banyan tree is going to a pot, and it is a clear interpretation of how we can grow a banyan tree in a pot, and according to humans' convenience. This the second one, the red painting, is also of the same series, where the plastic balloons, what we use, and we try to blow it up with our air and give it a shape. But we ourselves are like doing a lot of other things to get into shape. So it was that kind of a concept where I made these paintings. Started using more of human figures and postures in my painting, where that became my subject. These are watercolors on paper. More of human figures started coming in, and also my association with nature is I try to use pot or tree in my paintings. So maybe this was one of the golden trees or something like that, where my paintings got selected for something, or um, like that. I tried to represent the happiness with uh, the golden tree. Previously, it was all other ways, but here I made it very confined. I mean, refined way, depicting a golden tree and uh, a graceful posture. This was again with the identity, where moving from Bangalore to Mumbai, there was identity conflict, where if you're from outside Maharashtra or Mumbai, there was a different treatment altogether. But we used to use the same currency or identity as Indians or country. So geographically, like we were um, that kind of the friction was happening. So I made a poll, and there is a national flag which is unfolded. So we try to uh, use cloths to find identity, something of that sort, where we wait and we treat a cloth which has tricolor with utmost respect, but other cloths are maybe for a different purpose value. So something like that. It's an open-ended, and I don't conclude my painting. I just keep it like very undefined, so that the viewer can interpret in their own way. This is again with the same um, period, where trying to show the identity as a person, where you fall and you bounce back or something like that, where a lot of um, my experience in Mumbai was shown. After that, so the urge in me to dance, to move and collaborate, and the reason why I went to study dance was to get some inspiration. So um, this was in Goa, where it's a Goa Sand Art Festival. So we said like we'll do something, and they agreed. They were convinced with our idea, where we will dance on the beach and create figures or drawings, images on the beach. So they really liked it, and we used to dance from morning till evening on the beach, and people used to come and watch, and they were really fascinated with seeing like how we move and create drawings. I couldn't get a better picture because I have some technical issues. Uh, this was one of the collaborations which we did. They are my dancer friends and artist friend. This was also after we did this. The next day we had um, a quarter page article about us on the Times of India, and this was really motivating us. So that was one of the collaborations. After that, I after Mumbai, I couldn't sustain there much, and for the lack of my inability to communicate or something. So I moved back to Bangalore, and I didn't have place to work. So the best way to have a studio is get into a college, and they will provide you certain space, and also there will be people around you to discuss and develop to progress. So I got for the sake of place, I got into do my masters again after my PG diploma. So here I was more after traveling and getting seeing a lot of artists and discussing about my work. So there was some kind of a understanding, clarity with what I'm doing. So these are all planned works. That is about the popular images what we see. Like Che Guevara was one of the person who was everywhere on the t-shirts or on the caps or on the walls. So I was curious, like as a visual artist, like who is this person and why are the people using so much? So then after learning about him, I got interest that okay, why not I make a painting out of him? And this was an interpretation where he was a rebellion or a revolutionist, and Hitler. I don't know how to name him, but he's Hitler. Gandhi is a peace, non-violent person. So I interpreted with colors with a different energy. So what if Gandhi was a rebellion? What if Hitler was a peace lover? What if he was again a quiet person or a doctor? These were again with the same period where I used to work with a lot of um, the happenings around the violence or the news. This was again the with the same motif of popular images, pop culture, or popular images of great personalities like Charlie Chaplin, Michael Jackson. Just wanted to interpret that. Um, did they know like they will be popular or they will be used? I mean, nobody is alive today, but their legacy or their work is being carried out till even today. I mean, the people talk about their work and their life. So it's again interpretation with Buddha saying most wanted Manu. I mean, I use a little bit of literature also in my work. This is Angst of Finesse, where there is a donkey story where if you want to make a donkey move, like you tie a carrot in front of it and it assumes like I can eat it and it starts moving. So it is stationed and also it is in a fast move that where there are skates behind and it is stationed and it has been standing for a long time so that there is a creeper also which is um, climbing up. So it is a situation where everybody are living today. It is my just interpretation and presentation of life today. Uh, these are my works of masters. That is, we had an exhibition in Venkatappa Art Gallery, our annual show. These were huge paintings. This was the time where I uh, learned a lot about more art history and got inspired by all these great masters like Jackson Pollock and his action painting. I was greatly influenced by him. So all these were done in the same way. The action paint. I used to splash colors like and create emotion, and I used to allow the colors to form a texture by itself. These are also of the same period where um, the influences started appearing, and I I I was kind of settling down with what I'm doing and how I present, and I was associated with few galleries also, like paintings were selling and things were happening. This was a period where I started uh, making professional paintings, I can say. That is um, how to present my work and what kind of subjects I should do. It shouldn't be like too political or something like that, where there was clarity in what I was doing. This painting was selected for Bombay, and it won an award also for this. So with the same theme, that is Enigma, I started drawing in my canvas. So that was the second phase. This is the third phase, that is mic testing 1 2 3. That is process of practice. How I got into what I'm doing today. This was the shift, that is teaching. Before teaching, I have tried my hand in all odd jobs, that is in films, uh, mural, I did a lot of commissioned works, uh, all kinds of commercial, I mean, graphic designing or anything that like that. I tried, and this was one thing where I found myself. That is, teaching helped me learn more. So I started teaching all age groups. Like basically, I started teaching with kids, and then this happened. This was one of the best opportunities I got to teach in UVC, um, um, Department of Architecture. There was it was a wonderful moment where I was very new to teaching, and I didn't know. I was not, I was a trained painter, but I was not a trained teacher. So I didn't know how to teach. I was good with kids. So um, I was working really well. Like it is just that the two extremes. That is, kids were always energetic. They were no hesitant. I mean, they were not hesitant. They're always full of energy. And even if they make a donkey and say this is a horse, like we used to agree. But when it comes to all these young adults, intellectual adults, so it became very difficult because of their logical thinking, and they knew better than as a teacher. So it was very diverse, and I enjoyed this uh, experience at the same time. So after that, my painting totally changed, and where I had a theme and I prepared myself for a painting, and I made these paintings. Like this painting is titled um, uh, Location Sky. I mean, today in this generation where we use technology for everything from point A to point B, if you have to travel, like you use technology. So that's why I've used all this um, the location symbol in it, like that, and also it is like going from cloud upwards the reverse way, like a raindrop. And it is you guys can interpret in your own way. This is 5 feet by 5 feet and acrylic on canvas. These are my very recent works. uh, Acrylic on canvas again. Now I don't worry about much about like what I have to paint. It's just the emotion, very intuitive, where I just go with the flow. And there are a lot of, I enjoy the transparency of the color, where it need not be like it need not make a meaning, but it is just there, and it 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 provokes some kind of a thought. This is in the very recent works. Yeah, this I have to talk. This is one of my biggest project which I'm working on now. It's called the Big Goopy project. Uh, that is the Big Goopy is all about. I live in a place called Dodogubi. So this was it's my studio and also the place where I live. So and this idea it the inception of this idea came here. So we named it the Big Goopy project. We wanted it to be bilingual. So instead of Dotto Goopy, we named it Big Goopy. The whole plot of this um, project is uh, we wanted to collaborate, and I wanted my art to evolve by itself. That is, I has to spread my canvas on the floor, and instead of using brush and knife to paint, I used humans, dancers, to paint. I mean, to dance on my canvas and create textures, shapes, forms, everything. And most of it was surprising and accidental, but it was amazing to work here. These were dancers who collaborated with us, and we had a residency for 3 days where we made around 25 canvases like this. The dancers moved on the the canvas, and they created wonderful textures and paintings. Of course, I used to direct a bit here and there, but they did a wonderful job here. These are all huge canvases, 10 feet by 12 feet. This images, whatever you see on the floor, it is not choreographed or anything. It is improvisation while they are dancing. They went with the flow, went with the music, and went with the colors. You can see here dancers being part of my canvas and canvas being part of dancers. So um, they used to improvise, do all the movement work, and use their body, not just their feet, use the whole body to create um, create the painting.
The why factor is pretty obvious that we wanted to practice more and look out for possibilities of collaborating visual arts and performing arts.
When we got together again, it was to try and see how things are done side. Usually, paintings are made with brushes, I guess. So it was interesting to have an audience to it and to see how people take something and experiment with it. Because I feel the body doing the brush I think different people meeting, that synergy of that always gives rise to something. So I would say that for sure. That was definitely. I didn't expect the dancers to do what they did at all.
Everybody had story to tell, and in their own ways.
So I hope you guys got an idea about how the paintings were made. So this was the framing of it. these were the paintings which turned out to be made by dancers. Now I'll be working on it and improvising on whatever they have created. If you guys
Mic
have
was
any
loud.
doubts.
The mic was loud and clear, Mahesh.
Was it?
Yeah, in relation to your talk,
Okay.
mic testing was loud and clear.
Okay. Okay. It was just a pun intended.
No, it was brilliant. It was brilliant to really look at how amalgamation of various art forms to understand a process, or rather, to be a part of a process and explore something so unique as what you've done in your experimentations. Amazing. Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.